when these headlines brought the world's largest democracy to its knees. Lori Steele was at the top of her game as a global expert on technology investment. However, this very expertise gave her unparalleled insight into how technology could make voting secure, accessible, and irrefutable, while providing authentication and transmission.
The sort of fallout from Bush v. Gore and the fact that we couldn't do something, frankly, as simple as count votes has real ramifications. She took a look around and she said to herself, what is going to be my mark on the world when I'm gone? How do I otherwise contribute to our community, to our nation, to everybody else in the world?
Lori is motivated by big problems, big and intractable problems like voting around the world.
Lori put everything at risk to launch Everyone Counts. Starting with just a handful of employees in her dining room, she went after the sprawling hardware-based voting industry that allows individual counties in each state to purchase their own equipment, while current voting certification standards actually do not allow systems to be upgraded, only replaced.
Lori Steele has created a digital voting system that is safer, better, and more efficient than any system that we've got running today.
We have been largely conducting elections in this country, whether or not it be for city councilman or county supervisor, up to and including the president, the same for several hundred years.
She just came to realize that democracy was being hurt because of the way we were voting in the Stone Age. And she knew she could do something about it. And boom, she dropped everything and risked everything in her life for this passion of hers.
She had built, an investment company from scratch.
She was a very successful private investor. She had amazing clients. She was making huge amounts of money.
She spent what she viewed as an unsuccessful year doing her own lobbying in Washington, D.C. to gain traction for her ideas. Despite her frustration with her initial legislative reception, her ideas took root, and 6 months later, the 2009 Military Overseas Voter Empowerment Act was passed and signed by 65 senators. This bill requires all states to make voter registration and absentee ballot applications available electronically for overseas and military voters.
She took a calculated risk based on the fact that she knew there must be a better way to do things. More than a decade later, I think that calculated risk has panned out and it's been proved to be true.
Now widely viewed as the world leader in secure voting technology, Lori testified 4 times for the Presidential Commission on Voting, a nonpartisan group formed by Barack Obama after the U.S. bore witness to 2012 elections plagued by long lines and bitter voter registration disputes. Her expertise is sought all over the world as she provides counsel to the United Nations and has led successful voting projects in the United States, Canada, the United Kingdom, Bosnia, and Australia. Everyone Counts also recently partnered with the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, generating the highest voter turnout in the history of the Academy Awards.
The Academy was exploring the idea of introducing electronic voting to the Oscar process. We've enfranchised those members around the world to vote just as easily as those who are living across the street from the Academy building. They know that increased accessibility in democratic elections is really, really important. They're on the right side of history.
Lori's business and philanthropy work have received numerous awards, including being named one of the 10 most powerful women entrepreneurs for 2013 by Fortune magazine. Nothing means more to her than that one moment when the person voting is the most important person in the world, when everyone counts.
Lori, I believe, is one of the great Americans, one of the great entrepreneurs. What I look for in an entrepreneur is a real spark. Something that is way beyond the idea of making money or having a job. Lori Steele has that spark that will make a difference in all of our lives.
For all you have done to further democracy across the world, congratulations, Lori Steele-Contorer, on your 2014 induction into the Dallas Hamilton Hall of Fame at Bowling Green State University.